What's going on, guys? Ocean Omacha here, back with another figure review. Today we're going to be looking at SH Figuarts adult Vegeta figure from Dragon Ball Daima.
I swear I'm never taking another bath with you for as long as I live!
I'm stepping aside. You two can take it from here.
This is a standard release, so these will start at about, I think with the tariffs right now, they're about $37.99. I pre-ordered mine on Big Bad Toy Store last year in October. One thing that was frustrating about pre-ordering this through Big Bad Toy Store was the fact that it took so long to receive. I started seeing people posting the SH Figuarts subreddit saying that they were already seeing these in stores, and I'm sitting here waiting weeks after that to receive mine. So it took a little bit longer than I would have liked, but finally him and the adult Goku figures are here. I'll be reviewing that one after this Vegeta figure. But yeah, let's get into it. So you get 4 faceplates, 5 sets of hands, a set of crossed arms with some windswept hair. Pretty standard for a standard release figure, but I really like how these hands look. We'll go more in depth into those later when we get to that section, but let's take them out the package. So this Vegeta right off the bat is definitely smaller than previous Vegetas. I know that people have been saying if you're going to be posing the Daima figures with anything, they kind of pose better amongst themselves compared to posing them with other SH Figuarts figures for Dragon Ball Z just because of the scaling. But I'm noticing, and I did hear about this before when I was doing research on these figures, is that the chest and the hips are now soft plastic, which I think is great. It kind of reminds me of Marvel Legends Maximum figures where they have the rubberized torso so that you can get a little bit more range with the butterfly joints. Not a lot of shading. There does seem to be slight shading, but I mean with the Daima style it's a little bit more on the cartoony design, so having too much shading I feel like it would step more into the regular Z and out of the Daima feel. So let's get into some articulation. So the head's on a ball peg. You got a lot of range from left to right, all around. Doesn't go too far back. Goes pretty deep forward, chin to chest. Shoulder joints go beyond the T-pose, so pretty deep shoulder joints. So what I was talking about before with the soft plastic chest, it allows you to get a pretty decent range on the shoulders. Kind of have to push them a little bit. I try to push mine more at the shoulder than the bicep because I was pushing it at the bicep with Goku last night and his arm popped off. But you can get them to cross pretty far range when you push it a little bit. Bicep joint on a swivel. Double jointed elbows. Get deeper than a 90-degree bend. Wrist joints are pretty dependent on the hand. It can go pretty far inward with the fist, about this far outward with the fist, but you can get more range with the open palm hands. With the chest, you can kind of get a little bit of a gap when it leans back. When you lean it forward, you kind of have to like push it in so that the joint bends, because it's an odd joint. It's like 2 joints that they have there, but I'm not used to how that is. Get a little bit of gap in the back as well when it leans forward, but nothing too crazy, especially compared to the 2.0s. One issue I do run into with this back is very similar to Demoniacal Fit's The Coming One Top Gun Future Trunks figure, is that when I try to bend it this way, the bottom half of the lower torso can get caught up on the bottom half of the top. So you see right there how it's overlapping, so you kind of have to angle it so that it goes into the back piece. Full 360 swivel on the hips. They do kind of move around because of the rubberized crotch piece, so sometimes I have to reposition. You see how like it's almost like he's doing a magic trick where his torso isn't connected to his lower half, so you kind of have to reposition the hip piece a little every so often just to straighten them out. But because of it being soft plastic, he gets a lot of range in his hips, so when he's kicking he can almost do a full axe kick. Like that's a lot of range. That's way more range than I'm used to with previous SH Figuarts figures, at least for like a front kick. Like Vegeta can pretty much touch his toes. So a lot of range there at the hips. Full splits right there. 360 swivel at the thigh joint. He's also a double jointed knee, like previous SH Figuarts, pretty deep. The Goku figure, which we'll get into in the next review, is about the same range with a single joint, so I'm actually really impressed with that. Ankle is okay on this Vegeta, doesn't go too far down, goes pretty high up. Like that's really good range, but going down, like I said, like about yay far. Nothing crazy. Can get some pretty decent side range in the ankles though, so I'm happy with that. And some pretty good toe mobility. Now let's switch out some face plates. So to start, Vegeta comes with the serious face, the shouting or powering up face, the side-eye faceplate, and a smirking faceplate. Now let's check out his hands. So by default, he has a pair of fists, a pair of open palm key blast hands, a pair of martial arts fighting stance hands, a pair of closed palm key blast hands, and a pair of grabby hands. Now let's take a look at the accessories. So he only comes with 2 accessories, the windswept hair and the cross arms. The cross arms look like I don't think these are 2-piece cross arms like some of the newer SH Figuarts we've gotten. These look like they attach more similarly to the 2.0 cross arms at the bicep swivel. So we're gonna put both accessories on him. Pop that face off, give him that side eye look. Pop that off right there. That one right there. The newer 3.0 cross arms disconnect in the centerpiece there, so you can get them onto the arms individually much easier without having to worry about messing anything up in the process. Kind of wish they did that with him. There we go. Wasn't too bad. Oh, put his face on the wrong hair. And there you go. Now he looks like he's annoyed that a key blast just barely grazed him. I kind of want to compare him to the other Vegetas just to show you guys roughly where he scales with the other ones. Pretty short next to the lowest born Saiyan Goku. All in all, I'm pretty happy with this figure. Took a little bit of time to get it to me, but I'm overall happy with the articulation. It moves pretty smooth. I don't feel any catch or any resistance with any of the joints. I think the coloring looks great for it. I like the more faded goldish yellow, almost like a Dijon mustard type of yellow that the armor and the boots have. If I was going to give this a rating on a scale from 1 to 7 Dragon Balls, I'll probably give it a 6. Overall, the figure itself has great articulation, it looks nice, but it can't be posed with a whole lot just because of the scaling. It can really only be posed with other figures within the Daima collection, and quite frankly, aside from him, Adult Goku, Adult Piccolo, I'm not even sure if I'm gonna get the minis, so there's not a whole lot that you can pose them with, and the only villain that they've released from Daima so far is Goma, and he poses like trash. So it's not like they can do anything with that. So because of the lack of figures that it can be posed with outside of what if scenario poses, I'd have to give it 6 Dragon Balls out of 7, but still a great figure. I still recommend it. It's still a great price for only $37.99 plus whatever tax and shipping you gotta pay. I think after all is said and done, it was about $42 for this figure. So they did raise the price on the standard releases a little bit by a couple dollars, and the tariffs don't help either, but if you can get your hand on this Vegeta, I definitely recommend it. But let me know in the comments if you do plan on getting this Vegeta, if you already have this Vegeta and what you think of him. Do you plan on getting any other figures from the Daima collection? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification button so you always get notified every time I drop a figure review. And until the next one, I'll see y'all later. Peace.